Needs more people who with a sense of humor, correct? She's done an awful lot of work lately with kids either in elementary schools or in theater groups or recreation groups. So she's had an awful lot of interest and activity in our very youngest citizens. Here at Brandeis, she was a contributor to the Justice and the Blowfish. I love the Blowfish. They spell my name right. She's been in the Free Play Theater Cooperative as a board member. She's a member of the Brandeis Pluralism Alliance, and she has been a Waltham Group coordinator. It's my pleasure to introduce Elly Kalfus.
Elly's my friend.
Thank you so much, Dean Sawyer. Unfortunately, I never fulfilled the creative writing or the legal studies part of the degree, but I am an English major. Thank you to everyone who made this event possible. I think this is wonderful, and I'm so happy to see everyone. As the graduating class of December 2012, we're unique. Some of us are mid-years, some of us aren't. Some are graduating a semester early, some a semester late, and some right on time, so please stop trying to categorize us. Some are going on to law school, medical school, business school, vet school. Some are finding jobs, and some will be crashing in our former Brandeis dorms until we're kicked out. While I spent the majority of my time here at Brandeis overcommitting to student groups and social activism, others of us have been busy turning Farber 3 into a home, or volunteering at Lemberg, or even swimming at Lindsay for the time it was open. While I was getting in touch with English, roughly 13% of us were studying economics, 9% were studying biology, and a combined 14% of us were majoring in political science and international global studies. I don't want to make too many overgeneralizations, but I think the one thing we can all agree on is that we're different. Can I see consensus on that? Waggle your fingers if you agree. I think it's a majority. While we all have valuable stories about how we got to Brandeis and what we've done throughout our time here, I'm the one who submitted a speech, so I'm going to tell my story now. My first day at Brandeis was hectic, frustrating, draining, and scary. Helping my mom navigate the 4-hour drive to Brandeis from our home in the Bronx was exhausting. And by the time we finally located Brandeis, as the Australian GPS pronounces it, we were ready for someone to take us to my dorm, unpack my bags, and feed us lunch. However, upon arriving at campus, we realized that was not what Brandeis had in store. We entered campus and were greeted by a procession of nervous parents in cars and enthusiastic students in, I think it was orange t-shirts. We followed an endless line of directions, driving through an alphabet of parking lot names, until we finally made it to the north parking lot. After much frustration and an interminable wait, an OL approached our car. "Welcome to Brandeis," he said. "Are you excited?" "No," I said. "Yes, we are," my mom chimed in. He smiled and told us to wait until we were directed further. It was an ominous beginning. I didn't really want to go to college. At least it never felt like an option I chose, but more like something I knew I was expected to do. I was scared to leave my mom, my home, and my bathtub. But I also knew college was supposed to be the time you gained that independence you had supposedly always longed for. I had been going to school for 16 out of my 18 years of life, so by my senior year of high school, other alternatives didn't seem very plausible. What was I supposed to do? Find a job? That sounded even more intimidating. So I chose the lesser of two evils, the easier path. It took 3 years at Brandeis for me to understand how privileged I was that I could have this view. To recognize that higher education is not an option for millions of people around the world and in America. Many people do not get to go to school because of financial situations, citizenship status, family obligations, physical or mental illness, criminal records, and a host of other factors. Many people have to work to support their families, and taking out loans to pay for school is a luxury they cannot afford. While I had worked with underprivileged, disenfranchised people in the past, it was not until I came to Brandeis that I recognized my own privilege. This awakening came about as the culmination of a bunch of puzzle pieces clicking together. My sociology semester studying civil rights abuses in Mississippi, my friend's passion for prison abolition, and my taking a class called Race and the Law my junior year. I know as a Brandeisian I'm expected to name drop, so I'd like to thank Professors David Cunningham and Anita Hill for teaching those courses, which enabled me to recognize college for the opportunity it was, the choice I made to go here, and how fortunate I was to have that choice. I'm not saying this to make anyone here feel guilty. It's not a bad thing that we got to have this beautiful prize thing called an education. And I'm sure many of us had to fight very hard against societal structures which tried to prevent us from getting to this point. The reason I bring it up is that I want to acknowledge my privilege, which, although I sometimes feel uncomfortable about, I am also grateful for. Because I regret not recognizing earlier that being given the freedom to spend 4 years of your life living with people your age, taking classes in subjects you care about, and being constantly presented with extracurricular opportunity after extracurricular opportunity is a huge gift. And whether you think you worked hard for it, or it simply fell in your lap, it belongs to you now. So, whether you studied fine arts or African and Afro-American studies, Russian or peace, conflict, and coexistence studies, Yiddish or all five, while you were at Brandeis, you did something with your time. You learned, you taught, you grew, you suffered. Maybe you had realizations similar to mine, and you've come to view college in a whole different light. Or maybe you feel the same way about Brandeis as the day you entered it. In the end, you did it, and we did it, and everyone around us right now contributed to it in some way. So thank you to everyone. And as we go off into the world, leaving behind this kooky campus, let us always acknowledge our privilege.
Woo! Yeah! I got it.
Now, if you will please take out the ticket that you may have received, the yellow tickets. I'm sorry if not everyone received one. There are some extras.
Yeah.
And I would like to give back to at least one person at Brandeis for all that Brandeis has given to me. So whoever has ticket number 1310371. 1310371. Could you please come forward?
Probably not gonna get it if you get a ticket right now.
Anyone? Okay, let's try for.
You're not there yet.
I was over in my head.
You're not even close.
1310.
It ends in 371.
371.
1310371.
Okay.
Wow!